Hello, everyone. A very good morning to all of you. Welcome back after a week's break in a class for strategic management. And my name is Ch2, and I welcome all of you. I was reading through the messages, and somebody said, so Priyanshi says, "Good morning with the school vibes." Priyanshi, why do you send school vibes? Because it's morning or a Saturday and you have to study, or does my t-shirt look like a uniform to you? I see a lot of you joined in. Very happy to see you guys back. Aishwati, I see Anshu, I see Almas there, Payal, Anandya, Sunil is there, Priyanshi, Bhuma. Very welcome to all of you. Kinari, I see Prem, Nikhil, Neeraj. Good. Quick question before we get into our class. Okay. How many of you went back, revised, or studied the suggested answers or questions that we had practiced? How many of you got that time to go and read the question paper, read how the institute wants you to answer questions? Awesome. Prem did. Prem, you're already ahead of 99% of the students who are giving the examination if you've done that. I want each one of you to be very active in the chat. Like I say, this classroom is not me speaking, it's us learning things together with a lot of examples, with a lot of business acumen on strategic management. It's an interesting subject. The more you talk, the more you learn. Okay, very good. We were doing chapter number 2 when we met last. Okay. The first chapter was all about introduction to strategic management. We were talking about what is strategic management, what is vision, what is mission, what is an intent to do business, what are goals, what are objectives, the short-term objectives, the long-term objectives, what is all of that, right? It was all about understanding the basics of how a leader basically builds a business, thinks about a business, and that is what it means. Okay. However, one thing that was very important and we talked about in chapter 1 was intent. Okay. But here's a question for you. I want you to answer on the chat. I want you to answer, is intent a bigger concept or values? Which of the two is overarching everything else? Is it the intent or values? Which is a bigger or a broader, not bigger, but which is a broader concept? Value or intent? Okay. Prem says value, Alma says value, Anshu says value, Payal says value, Shruti says value. Awesome. That means you guys are learning and you guys are revising. Very happy to know that. Values are a bigger overarching concept than an intent. You might have an intent to do a particular business, but your value systems are something that probably create that extra edge for you in the business. Okay. Now, value which contains intent in it. Absolutely. Now, I will give you a statement. You tell me if it's true or false. Okay. Let's quickly revise chapter 1. I'll give you a statement. The statement is very simple. The statement is objectives need to be time bound. True or false? Objectives need to be time bound. True or false? True. Okay, awesome. Anshu, Prem, Almas, 3 people saying true. Okay, Shruti is coming saying true. That's true. Objectives need to be time bound. True or false? True. It is a daily target to achieve. Okay. Not rather daily, but you have time mentioned in an objective, right? Okay. Very nice. Give me one example of a long-term objective of an organization. Give me any one example. There we listed a few. There are like 7, 8 given in the textbook. of long-term objectives of an organization. Give me any one long-term objective of an organization. Just give me any one long-term objective of an organization. क्या होता है long-term objective? कुछ एक example. Give me one example. Give me one objective का नाम. Profit. Long-term objective profit. Okay. What else? There are multiple examples we talked about. Productivity. What else? Yeah. अभी किसी ने रिवाइज नहीं किया. The more time you take to answer, I get to know what topics you guys are not revising. So, productivity, public responsibility, expansion. What else? Expansion is long term. Growth. Okay. Now you see what topics you are not revising. The topics which are not part of the PPT are not revised. मतलब study material नहीं पढ़ रहे. You guys are not reading the study material then. That is how we catch it. Again, I keep telling you, the more you study the study material, the better your chances are to clear the examination. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to clear the examination, your choice. Okay. Anyway, another question for you. Are goals bigger or the mission is bigger? Which of the two is broader or a bigger concept? Goals or mission? Goals is a broader concept or mission is a broader concept? Absolutely. Goals are bigger than mission, right? Most of you are wrong. Mission is a broader concept than goals. Vision, mission, goals layers हैं. पहले विजन आता है, फिर मिशन आता है, फिर गोल्स आते हैं. तो मिशन इज अ ब्रॉडर कॉन्सेप्ट देन गोल्स. कहाँ पढ़ लिया ये कि गोल्स आर अ ब्रॉडर कॉन्सेप्ट देन मिशन? आई नेवर टॉट दिस. Mission is a broader concept in comparison to goals. Please remember. Okay, one more question. People closest to the customers. People closest to the customers are at which level of the organization? Corporate, business, or functional? Functional. Okay, what else? Functional, 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 functional. I'm getting a lot of functional. Very nice. Another question. The vice president, the vice president of, let's say, the vice president of sales reports to the board of directors, the CEO, and has a team of almost 20 people of commercial sales reporting to him. Okay? The vice president of sales is at which level of organization? The vice president of sales is at which level of organization? Correct answer is middle level, that is business level. Reports to the CEO of the board of directors and has 20 people reporting to him who are actually doing the job. He's taking directions from the board of directors, passing on those directions to convert them into real goals and actions, and giving it to his sales team. Okay? He's working at the middle level, that is business level of the organization. क्या हुआ? सब लोग chat खत्म हो गई. Nobody's able to answer. Why? Except just one. I just see one answer on the Zoom chat. The VP of sales is business level. Not taking decisions, just passing on the orders from the board to the salespeople. Okay, very nice. We started doing chapter 2, which was external environment analysis. We were talking about the external environment. You were talking about pestle analysis. You were talking about the demographics, the macro environment, what all comes in macro environment, and how does macro environment really shape the decision making of a business. ठीक है जी? Let me give you an example. Aging population of Japan. Aging population of Japan is creating a lot of opportunities for old age people related products. What kind of macro environment component am I talking about? Aging population of Japan. कौन से component की बात हो रही है? A lot of people saying demographic. ठीक है जी, मान लेते हैं. आप कह रहे तो मान लेता हूं कि डेमोग्राफिक है. I want each one of you to be active on the chat, guys. If you're lazy, if you're sleepy, the class doesn't make sense. You have to be really, really active on the class, okay? Very nice. Demographic. Now, another example for you, or another question for you is, the tariffs, the US tariffs on countries. US has imposed tariff, which is if you import or if you export to US, your stuff is going to be costly because now US will charge more custom duty. So what kind of macro environment component is US tariffs? Latest example. What kind of macro environment? Is it economic? Is it political? Or is it socio-cultural? Okay. Some people saying economic, some people saying political. Tariffs are both political and economic. Tariffs would fall under both economic and political. It's a politically charged decision, but it will impact economies. Right? It will impact economic conditions, but it will impact economic conditions. The decision is political. That is how I would put it. The decision is political, but it will impact economic. You understand what I'm saying? Though the decision is politically charged, the decision will impact a lot of politics, or it's like a lot of economies, the way economics work, the way economies have functioned, it will impact that. It's both. Okay, very nice. Last question before we get into where we left off. My last question to you is बहुत ही छोटा सा question. The question is, McDonald's starting a masala dosa burger in Bangalore. McDonald's introducing a masala dosa burger in Bangalore. Bengaluru. What kind of macro component am I talking about? Socio-cultural. We're talking about a socio-cultural environment here. Absolutely, we are. Absolutely, we are talking about a socio-cultural environment. Okay, very nice. In chapter 2, we were also talking about risks. How many of you remember this chart? Give me a raise of hand, give me a vote, give me whatever you feel. How many of you remember this chart? Yeah, I got one thumbs up. Very nice. Got one thumbs up. That's yes, I remember. Awesome. Very nice. To all those saying yes, very happy. You guys are already ahead of a lot of people, if you remember. A lot of questions come from here, you know. I can make 20,000 questions from just this graph or this table that you see or matrix that you see here. I can take more than enough questions for your question paper. And let me ask you one question. Okay. Let me give you an example. Sanjay, who is the CEO, listen to this question very carefully, then answer. Okay. Listen to this as carefully as you can and then give me your answer. Okay. Sanjay, who is the CEO of, let's say, a computer hardware company, right? They create hardware for big companies like a Lenovo, HP, Dell. They make hardware for these companies. He started a project. He said, I want to increase the efficiency of my team in terms of manufacturing. Let's say we manufacture almost 20,000 units in a week. I think the demand is more, and I want to increase the efficiency. I don't want to put up another manufacturing plant. Rather, I just want to increase the efficiency of existing plant. So he starts a project called Project Expansion. It's called Expansion, let's say. Okay. He introduces that project. They start it like they probably create a team of 20 people and puts Rajan at the top of the team. Rajan builds a strategy, works around with people, what needs to be done, who does what, how, what's what's the vision of this entire project, what's our mission, what are our goals, objectives. They create everything. Suddenly, Sanjay calls up Rajan and says, Boss, you need to pause the project for 2 weeks because we are still negotiating the contract with Dell. Dell has asked for a higher discount, though Dell has asked for more units, which is good for our project, but they have asked for more discount, and I don't think so we can give them more discount. So we are still evaluating their contract. Clear with the case scenario? Give me a thumbs up. Clear what I'm trying to tell you here. Very real life scenario. Happens every single day in companies. Yes? Okay. 3 days later, Sanjay calls up Rajan and says, I think we need to stop the project because Dell has pulled out of the contract. They're not giving us the new contract for next 3 years. So we're going to lose Dell sales, which is almost like 40% of our capacity. What kind of risk to the overall strategy is this? What kind of risk am I talking about? What kind of risk am I talking about here? Think, read, and answer. Think, read, and answer. What kind of risk am I talking about here? Short term external, long term external, short term internal, or a long term internal? Which one am I talking about here? Think and answer. Neeraj says short-term external risk. Miss P, I forgot your name. I think it was Shruti. Okay. Uh, Smriti. See, very close. Very close. Dell exiting contract is external, and since its impact for 3 years, so long-term external risk. Okay, good analysis, Smriti. Prem says long-term external. Priyanshi says short-term external. Anshu says external short-term. Long-term external. Okay, let me just ask you this question. Was it error in interpreting the environment which caused this? The answer is no. Was it a change in the environment that led to the obsolescence of the strategy? Answer is yes. It's a long term external risk. However, it's a risk which can be mitigated. No, no. Priyanshi, it will. It will lead to obsolescence. If you're starting a project to increase the efficiency from a 20,000 units to let's say 25, 30,000 units, ऑर्डर ही नहीं है अब आपको चाहिए 10,000 यूनिट्स तो आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी तो ऑब्सोलेंस हो गई आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी तो जीरो हो गई कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है आपको स्ट्रैटेजी की you don't even need that strategy because you were trying to take your production from a 20,000 to a 30,000 आज जो 30,000 हमें चाहिए तो स्ट्रैटेजी तो खत्म ही हो गई ना हमारी the need of the strategy is no longer needed if the order is not going to come so it leads to obsolescence of the strategy. However, let me now give you real life scenario. The answer is long-term external. Okay, the answer is long-term external. But here's another magic thing. What happens? The team got paranoid. Listen to this carefully and now answer again. The sales team, the management got so paranoid that Dell has removed our contract. What are we going to do? They start searching for ways to increase their sales and bring back capacity because अब capacity नहीं होगी fixed cost तो वहीं की वहीं है we will incur a lot of losses बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा business के लिए so they start talking to other companies right they start talking to other companies they already had HP they already had Lenovo they started talking to Apple that, hey maybe if not your entire hardware, can we just give you screens for your MacBook? We are the best in screens. So this company has great technology and innovation in making HD screens for laptops and tabs and all of that. So say we understand you have your own laptop, but do you want a better screen? We can give you a better screen at a better pricing. The sales team goes, pitches hard, gives very good discounts, gets in a lot of volumes, and they win a contract for another 5 years from Apple to provide them screens for all India manufactured laptops of Apple. Okay. Now, when this was happening, the team was getting sales and all. It took about 2 months, right? Negotiations, deal, meeting people. It took about 2 months. And while Sanjay and his team was getting this contract renew or a new contract with Apple to mitigate the loss of Dell's contract, Rajan, who was the efficiency project head, he left. He thought that even after if I don't know if the sales gonna come or not, they will eventually not need me. So better save my job and let me quit and move to some other company. So Rajan left. All the strategy made by Rajan, every idea, how we improve capacity and all of this exercise he had done was now at a standstill. What risk am I talking about here? What risk am I talking about here? It's a trick question, my friend. The correct answer is internal short term risk. Exactly. If in the middle of the project he would have left, this could have been a long term inconsistency. But because the new project, because of the new thing that we are doing, we can still hire somebody. The product is no longer a laptop. The product is we are making screens. So we need to increase the efficiency of our screens manufacturing. This will need somebody new to do something new. So it becomes a short-term internal risk. Short-term में तो मुश्किल आएगी. Because now he's left, you need to hire somebody, which will take about another month or so. They will come, understand your business, start working, start delivering. It will take time. सिर्फ जादू नहीं होगा कि कल से किसी को डाला और वो स्ट्रेटेजी आपकी चला के दिखा दे. It's an internal short-term risk, right? As we have project, but now we will not be able to meet the strategic demand, but can bring another person on board. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why it is short term. Are we clear on all this? We had also talked about the macro environment elements, right? So, एक और question. Let me ask you this question. My friend started a business of applying for visas for students. ठीक है जी? Understand this. I'm giving you a very common example. My friend started a business where he helps students apply for student visas to Canada, to US, to European Union, to Australia, to New Zealand, to UK, to like even Russia, and let's say to other countries in Southeast Asia like Singapore, or they're going to Vietnam. Visa लगवाता है, student visa लगवाता है. Because he figured out that maybe a lot of Indian students want to go abroad to study. What kind of what kind of macro environment has he understood where he sees this opportunity? क्या macro environment element के basis पे do you think he's building this business? Which of the macro environment elements is he tapping into? A lot of students in India want to go outside, go abroad to study. So he started a visa application business only for students. And he's making crores of very booming, very, very service based. अपना कुछ लगता नहीं है पैसा. No investment. It's just pure mouth publicity. What macro environment element has he cracked? The answer is socio-cultural. The answer is socio-cultural. The belief, the value system of the population, the trend. लोगों का मानना है कि बाहर पढ़ाई अच्छी होती है. The belief system of the population is that I want to go outside to study because that makes me more accepted in the society. My parents will feel proud. I will have more respect in the society. People will start valuing me. They will consider me successful. It's a socio-cultural belief of the people that foreign जाएंगे तो successful माने जाएंगे. It's a socio-cultural environment. It's a culture. It's a social stigma. It's a social belief system of the population based on which he cracked a business opportunity. Based on which he cracked a business opportunity. This is macro environment, socio-cultural component. Okay? The belief system. What does the population believe in? Based on that, you do a business. You get what I'm saying? Very nice. Pestle analysis is what we did. And now we start with internationalization of business. We start with internationalization of business in chapter 2. Very interesting topics coming your way today. I want to give you so many business examples for the next few topics कि आपको forever वो याद रहे because once you do your own business, you become the finance head of an organization. You are the financial planner. You're a startup guru, whatever you become in the future, right? These concepts will be after your life every single day. भाई ये तो रोज आपको चाहिए होंगे. People will think यार आपको तो ये पता होगा. You're finance professional, you would know this. That's how important these topics are. And let's talk about that. How many of you know foxnut? मखाने के बारे में सुना? Have you heard about makhana, foxnut? Yep. You guys know what a foxnut is? What is the makhana? Awesome. I see a lot of yes. 5 years back, nobody even cared about what a foxnut or a makhana is. Indian people here and there during their fasting used to eat it, right? Generally, कोई खाता नहीं है इसको. Fasting के टाइम खाते थे. Today, it's a global phenomenon. People are going crazy for foxnut. They say it's healthy, it's light, it's a snack of the future, whatever, however they're marketing it. And people from India are selling foxnut to the world at prices you cannot even think. They're selling foxnut for almost $100 per kg. 8,500 रुपए. 8,000, 9,000 rupees kg export हो रहा है US and Europe. They're selling it for $100 a kg. Then people in Europe and US are packing it into a 100 gram or 150 gram packaging and selling it for $10, $11. So अब आप समझो वो क्या कर रहे हैं? They're making a $100 product into a $150 product, but Indian people are just selling, exporting it to the world because there is demand. There, people are going crazy. It has had a social media marketing, like they just capsize this entire social media thing. कि भाई foxnut खाओ. People are putting their money on this opportunity. They're going global. अभी एक आदमी sitting in Indore, a person sitting in Indore used to sell the makhanas and chana and seengdana and mungfali, whatever you call it. He was doing a business of like 5-6 lakh rupees. पूरे इंडिया में बेचते हैं 5-6 लाख रुपए महीने का धंधा. आज that person is selling just foxnuts, buying it for 1,000 rupees, selling it for 8,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees kg वो कमा रहा है बैठ के. There will be cost, obviously, shipping cost and all of that, but I'm just saying the gross margin has shot up 7 times. Gross margin itna बढ़ गया because there was a global demand and he decided to go international. So internationalization of business होना चाहिए, right? Absolutely, Prem. I also saw that video. A lady in Shark Tank in the US and मखाना का उसने पैकेट बना के and people got crazy. Wow, what an innovation! Like ये तो हमारे यहाँ पे पड़ोसी की दुकान में मिल रहा है, right? And people are just going crazy. Wow, what a brand! But that's how things work. I'll give you another example. Have you seen Lenskart? Lenskart has showrooms in Dubai. Lenskart has showrooms in Singapore. Lenskart has showrooms in Europe. In Middle East, it's capturing. In Sri Lanka, you go. Nepal में जाओ, Bhutan जाओ, Vietnam जाओ, कोई Lenskart के showroom मिले. They're going global. There is demand. Internationalization of business, right? As basic a thing as specs. चश्मे तो बना रहे, दुनिया में इतने लोग चश्मे बना रहे, but still they're going international, not just following a phenomena, but building a business international. Okay, very nice. You know, some of the biggest hotels in New York. I don't know if you have read this. I think Hilton, and there was another hotel in New York, like top three hotels in New York. Two of them, are now owned by who? Who owns the like some of the top few hotels in New York? Can you guess who owns that? किसने इन्वेस्ट की, किसने खरीद के वो इंटरनेशनलाइजेशन ऑफ बिजनेस किया है अपना होटल्स का? कैन यू गेस? टेक अ रैंडम गेस. You can be wrong also, you can be right also. Take a random guess. What do you think? Which Indian business bought those hotels? दो ही नाम आते हैं प्रेम से, या तो टाटा होगा या अंबानी होगा. The answer is Reliance Group. Reliance Group has bought some of the biggest hotels in New York. What is this? This is internationalization of business. They're going international. They're investing outside India, building a business outside India because पैसे तो वहां भी बन रहे हैं. Business is all about making good money, ethically, having a vision, having a mission. Vision है ना भाई. The opportunity है, so let's go and do that. That is internationalization of business. That's a global business. But now my question is, where does Lenskart's decision making happen? Does it happen in India, or does it happen in Dubai or Singapore or Vietnam or Sri Lanka या फिर यूरोप में कहीं जर्मनी में बैठ के? Decision making of Lenskart happens where? It happens in India. It's an Indian company. The headquarters are in India. Lenskart might have global operations, but the head office, the main decision making, the leadership sits in India. That's why it's an Indian global business. Wipro, Infosys, TCS. 70-80% of the business comes from global operations. Europe, US, Middle East, Asia, APAC, right? New Zealand, Australia, Japan. यहाँ से आ रहा है बिजनेस, बट हेडक्वार्टर्स बेंगलुरु में. लीडरशिप सारी बैंगलोर मुंबई में बैठ के डिसीजंस ले रही है. इट्स अ ग्लोबल बिजनेस. द फॉरेन ऑपरेशंस इवेंचुअली रिपोर्ट टू एन इंडियन एंटिटी. The foreign operations collect money, send it to the main entity, which can be wherever the main entity is. फिर वहां से मेन एंटिटी देन एलोकेट्स मनी फॉर इन्वेस्टमेंट टू डिफरेंट एंटिटीज. एग्जाम्पल समझते हैं. एक एग्जाम्पल से समझाता हूं आपको. लेट्स से यू आर द हेड ऑफ एपैक रीजन. ठीक है, एशिया पैसिफिक रीजन के यू आर द ऑपरेशनल हेड. लेट्स से यू आर द सीईओ ऑफ द एशिया पैसिफिक रीजन of an IT company. Let's say IT कंपनी का नाम कुछ भी बोल दो. IT कंपनी का बोलते हैं Excel IT, for example. You are the APAC head. Now, what you see is countries like Thailand, countries like Hong Kong, Korea, they are decent developed markets, और यहाँ से पैसा आ रहा है, right? It's a decent business. You're making good money. You're making 60-70% margin in these countries, and you have great amount of money flowing in. You see a lot of potential in Philippines. कि यार Philippines की population is now learning English. They know coding. The new generation that's coming up has learned computer science. They know English really well now. Let me develop this market. Let me build this market. ठीक है? Let me build this market. क्या करोगे? As the APAC head, how will you move your money? क्या करोगे? What would be your strategy to build that APAC business bigger? क्या करोगे? Right. Basic genuine question. हर business पूछ रहे हैं अपने एशिया पैसिफिक हेड से कि यार क्या करना है इतने पैसों में? I'm asking you, what would you do with that money? You can drop in your answers in the chat. I'll be happy to know as the Asia Pacific head आप क्या करना चाहोगे? Expand, reallocate money from the developed countries to developing countries. Reallocation of funds करोगे? Because you are getting a consolidated fund at Asia Pacific level from all the countries. You will use that money to invest in more developing country for your business. Exactly. That is what you would do. That is internationalization of business. A central unit takes all decisions while multiple units draw funds and decision making from that central unit. That central unit can be anywhere in the world, and the other countries then become a global playground for that organization. That is a global business. A global business is center point एक decision making का है, वहां से सारे decisions लिए जाते हैं, वहां से fund allocation होता है, and that is how everything happens there. Okay, and operations are global, so everything, all decisions about global operations are taken from that entity, which is a central unit taking all decisions. The answer then is, or the question then is, why are businesses going global? All these businesses, TCS, Wipro, Reliance, Airtel, Vedanta, सब लोग चले गए हैं global. Everybody is having manufacturing plants across the world, customers across the world. They are extremely, extremely global. They're very global in their operations. The question is why? The question is why? Why do you think they're going global? Random, any point, जो आपके मन में आ रहा है, share it. Why do you think these companies are going global? I want each one of you to be active on the chat. Why do you think these companies are going global? To expand the business, market penetration, better growth opportunities, increase in demand, expand the market, right? Market expand करनी है, growth करना है business का, market expansion है, increase market share, increase the business, make more money, better margins to capture demographics, wider demographics, increase the size, capture more market share, extra profits, extra money. ये सब के लिए करते हैं ना? The answer is right. Why do businesses hashtag go global? Why do businesses hashtag go global? One, growth necessity. Sometimes you may realize as a business person कि यार इंडिया की मार्केट उतनी भी बड़ी नहीं, राइट? इंडिया की मार्केट उतनी भी बड़ी नहीं. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Have you heard about this brand called Mokobara? नाम सुना? Have you heard about this travel bag company called Mokobara? No? पता है क्यों? I was expecting no. But if you go and Google Mokobara, it is a sensational brand right now in travel bag, office bag category. महंगे हैं bags. These are not cheap bags. These are really premium bags. It's an Indian company, Mokobara. Diljit Dosanjh is the brand ambassador. You know what is this company doing? They figured out कि यार VIP, Safari, ये सब bags हैं. 90% of the India तो unorganized sector से is buying a travel bag. Most of us don't buy a branded bag. I don't think so. If I have 5 bags, one will be VIP, one will be, let's say, a Safari, but 3 will be random uh, travel bags bought from anywhere, any local shop. तो branded bags नहीं खरीद रहे हैं India में, right? Most of the people are not. But there is a certain segment which is now the white collar job, the salaried people, the travelers, influencers, a little bit affluent people. Now they want a brand. अब वो brand में VIP, Safari, they don't want to buy. They say this is like common Indians brand. We are not common Indian. We are affluent Indian. They have that ego as a customer. Now they figured out कि यार ये market पकड़नी पड़ेगी. We will have to play in this market. This is a niche market, but people are ready to pay extra money. They can't buy an LV, they can't buy a Gucci, they can't buy a Tommy Hilfiger. And they also don't want to buy a VIP, they don't want to buy a Safari, they don't want to buy a random brand. American Tourister नहीं खरीदना भाई मुझे. And I can't even buy an LV. So what will I do? What will I do is I will find a brand, I will build a brand which caters to this need of this customer. थोड़ा premium, but luxury नहीं है, but premium है. That's where Mokobara plays. That is where Mokobara as a brand plays. After the class, just go and Google their bags. You will see very funky, cool, premium bags is what they're trying to build for India, right? Mokobara कर रहा है वो. And the interesting thing is, after 3, 4, 5 years of operations, इस टाइम अच्छा बिजनेस है, but they're figuring out कि यार इंडिया की मार्केट इतनी भी बड़ी. The Indian affluent customer is not so big. There are ample people. There will be like 50, 60 lakh customers we can cater to, or almost like a 1 crore people out of 140 crore people. होंगे मतलब 50-60 लोग करोड़ 50-60 लाख 1 करोड़ लोग को हम cater कर लेंगे. But once a person buys a bag, they are not going to buy it again for the next 3, 4, 5 years. Repeat customer तो है नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं है रोज बैग खरीदेगा. But we want to increase our market. We want to increase our sales. So what they did was they went global. They have started going to the Middle East and Europe because they have premium quality. They understand this premium customer, and now they're capturing the global markets. Now they're capturing the global markets. That's an interesting case study. Growth necessity. But sometimes the fundamental requirement of growth is bhai, the existing market is not so big, right? That is what happens in sometimes the market is not so big. That's growth necessity. The second is reduce time and distance. Accessibility बढ़ गई. It's easy to go global. It is very easy to go global. Okay. आज की डेट में if you want to go global, you can even start selling on Amazon right away. Amazon US में you can sell sitting in India. It's not very tough to go global in today's time. The reduced time and distance with internet, with supply chains, with e-commerce, it's not very tough to sell your product online to a foreign country. Accessibility बढ़ गई है, so why not capture the opportunity? The domestic market insufficiency, the example I was giving you, there is internal domestic market insufficiency, right? What is happening is the domestic markets are not expanding or not growing to the level we want them to grow. The domestic markets aren't growing at a level you want them to grow. तो आप क्या करते हो? आप थोड़ा सा एक्सटर्नल मार्केट में जाते हो, आप थोड़ा सा ग्लोबल मार्केट में प्ले करने जाते हो, you get better prices, where people are ready to spend more money because इंडियन कंज्यूमर के पास डिस्पोजेबल इनकम नहीं है. Indian consumer does not have disposable income. It's increasing, but globally we are very, very low on disposable income. What is disposable income? Disposable income is the money available with you to spend on your wants, not your needs. एक wants होती हैं, एक needs होती हैं. हमारा देश अभी needs को ही पूरा कर रहा है. The food, the housing loan, the car EMI, education, medical, खाना पीना, basic, दाल चावल में ही पैसे खर्च हो जाए. We don't have money to spend on our wants. I don't go on hiking. I don't go build every day morning. I don't jog in a Nike sneaker wearing shades in a park. I don't have money to have that swag in life, right? As an Indian, we don't have that facility or availability of money to spend on our wants. That is a domestic market insufficiency. भाई पैसे ही नहीं है लोगों के पास, तो how will you grow your market? People don't have, it's not like they don't want to spend. They want to spend, but है ही नहीं पैसे. है ही नहीं पैसे, तो कैसे कर? It's increasing, but the global markets already have that established increased income. Why don't go and play there as well? Why don't go and play there as well? You should, absolutely. That's a globalization of your Indian business. Access to resources. भैया पैसे तो कहीं से भी मिल जाते हैं आजकल. You can get a loan sitting in India from a US bank. You can. You want to invest in the US government gives you facilities, subsidies, resources. कि आओ लगाओ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्लांट यहाँ पे, करो काम यूएस में, आ जाओ इन्वेस्टमेंट करो. दुबई बोलते आओ हमारे पास बिजनेस करो, वी गिव यू सब्सिडी. एक्सेस टू रिसोर्सेज मिल रहा है, राइट? कॉस्ट रिडक्शन. When you have an overseas plant, it leads to cost reduction as well. If you open your manufacturing in a relatively poorer or not so affluent country in relation to your own country, you will have cost reduction benefits. भाई H&M का कपड़ा कहाँ बनता है? How many of you know the brand H&M, Zara? Most of you would have gone to malls and shopping streets. Have you heard about H&M and Zara? Give me a yes, raise your hands, chat, so that I know you are active and I'm not speaking to a screen. I want you to be active for this. While we'll let you speak up and raise your hands post the class, which is like around 9 a.m. We open session for questions. We'll take your question then. If you want to raise a hand, very happy you want to talk. We'll talk, but at 9. Okay? Yes, you know Zara, H&M. Absolutely. Sunil, very nice. Now, कभी जाके उसके टैग पे पढ़. Whenever you go to a shop, one of these shops, go, right? Now think about, there's a tag, okay? There's a tag which says made in Vietnam, made in Philippines. Tag पे लिखा रहता है. Now they're not making in China, making in India. भाई वो तो वियतनाम चले गए हैं बनाने, तो फिलीपींस चले गए हैं बनाने, because the economy is weaker, the labor is cheaper, they're getting subsidies from the government. वहां पे मैन्युफैक्चर करो, cost reduction हो रही है. So they're manufacturing there, bringing all the products back in different countries where they're charging. भाई गजब पैसा बना रहे. Vietnam, when they're making a shirt or t-shirt for 200, 250 rupees, they're shipping it for another 100, 150 rupees. 400-500 रुपए की cost आती है, and they sell it for 1999, 2000 रुपए की वो इंडिया में बेच देते हैं. That's how businesses are doing cost reduction through globalization of your business. No worries, Prem. I'm very happy you are working while studying, so kudos to you. Very, very, very happy for you. Okay. Sales and cash flow. Now, when you have forex, जब हाथ में foreign exchange आता है ना, तो आपको cash flow वैसे ही बढ़ जाता है. Now think about this. Question to you, okay? ध्यान से सुनना and answer. Which is better? Making 10,000 rupees in a day or making $150 in a day? Which is better? 10,000 रुपए दिन की सेल या $150 दिन की सेल? $150. ठीक है जी. एवरीबडी सिंग है $150. 86, 87 रुपीज का डॉलर चल रहा है. 12,000 रुपए हो गए. $150 is better. Now let me give you another angle. Is it better or easier? You think? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? Is it easier to sell a 20 rupee product, to 500 people? Is it easier? Is it easier to sell a 20 rupee product to 500 people, or is it easier to sell a $10 product to 15 people? ₹20 product, 500 people, or a $10 product to 15 people. Exactly. Now my question to you is, अगर ये ही common sense है, 9 out of 10 people are saying it's easier to sell a $10 product to 15 people. So why is everybody doing a 20 rupee sales to 500 people in it? क्यों बिजनेस बना रहे हैं हम इंडिया में? फिर मैं तो ग्लोबली चले जाना चाहिए. Exactly. You have to do a mix of both. You have to do a mix of both, my friend. The volumes will bring you economies of scale. ये भी तो समझे ना. आप समझिए, why are businesses going global? Let me give you which nobody will tell you. Nobody is going to tell you this, but think like a business person. थोड़ा दिमाग चलाओ. What are we doing here? Businesses are selling in India to get volumes. Think about this, my friend. जब मैं बोल रहा हूँ, ध्यान से समझना ये. Businesses want to be in India for volumes. जब volume होगी, तो economies of scale आएगी and the cost per unit will reduce. Now think about this. The cost per unit will reduce and I will charge that product in dollars to a Europe and US market. मैंने क्या जादू क्रिएट कर दिया. Now if I keep selling a $10 product to 15 people, भाई मेरी लागत भी तो ज्यादा होगी. If I'm just think about this, okay? Think about this. If you go and buy 15 packets of chips खरीदने जाते हो, you go to a wholesaler and you say, give me 15 packets of chips. कितना डिस्काउंट देगा? 15 पैकेट खरीद, 15 पैकेट्स यू आर बाइंग, कितना डिस्काउंट मिल जाएगा? 2%, 5%. You get 5% मिल जाएगा डिस्काउंट. I want you to be give me answer, yes, no, what do you think, मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा? Absolutely yes, you will get some discount. When you go and buy 15 packets, you will, maybe less. What if you go and buy 1000 packets? अब जाते हो कहते हो यार, I need 1000 packets of chips. अब क्या लगता है होलसेलर कितना डिस्काउंट देते हैं? ज्यादा मिल जाएगा? You'll get better discount. Absolutely. Definitely हमको ज्यादा डिस्काउंट मिल जाएगा. This same thing happens in economies of scale. अब think about this, my friend. अब मैं आपको समझाता हूँ ग्लोबल क्या है. You buy 1000 packets at a 20% discount. ठीक है जी? You buy 1000 packets at 20% discount, तो आपकी कॉस्ट हो गई कम. And now you sell that piece in a global market. Let's say उसको आप $5 का बेच देते. ठीक है जी? $5, $400 का बेच दिया आपने चिप्स का पैकेट. $5 का चिप्स का पैकेट बेच दिया आपने ग्लोबल मार्केट में. कॉस्ट थी आपकी एकदम, द कॉस्ट वाज सो लो बिकॉज यू बॉट 1000 पैकेट्स एंड यू सोल्ड, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50 packets in a global market for $5 each. But आप कह रहे हैं 1000 खरीद लिए हैं, you get discount only when you buy 1000, but the global market only can buy 50. बाकी 950 कहाँ बेचोगे? इंडिया में बेचोगे. तो इंडिया is a market where volumes help, and volumes help bringing down your cost. Economies of scale. जब economies of scale आ जाएगी, the cost reduces. Now this reduced cost will benefit you in a global market. You understand why India is an important market for businesses. आपको अब समझ आ रहा है इंडिया में इतना इन्वेस्टमेंट होता क्यों है? क्योंकि we have volumes. They want to play on volumes, reduce their cost and make money in the global market. इंडिया में पैसा नहीं बनेगा. इंडिया में पैसा नहीं बनता है, पैसा बाहर ही बनता है. You make humongous profits outside of India, but you only get volumes from India which reduce your cost. To reduce your cost, you have to sell in India. So India is an important market if you want to have economies of scale. भाई 150-160 करोड़ लोग की मार्केट है, थोड़ा तो बिक जाएगा, बट वॉल्यूम्स आ जाएंगी, क्वांटिटी आ जाएगी, उससे आपका कॉस्ट कम हो जाएगा. Do you understand this concept of global companies? Yes, no, thumbs up, okay, wow, new thing for me. You can type in anything in the chat, right? Okay. That is going global for a business. New thing, right? कुछ नया आज इंटरेस्टिंग समझने सीखने मिला कि यार ये भी हो रहा है दुनिया में. That's going global. So growth necessity, insufficiency of domestic market, the reduced time and distance, the access to resources, the cost reduction, the sales and cash flow opportunities from the global market, the service and economic integration. The world is one. Contracts हैं, आपस में treaties हैं countries के. There is economic integration and ease of forming strategic alliances. Starbucks टाटा के साथ इंडिया में आ गया. टाटा स्काई के साथ टाटा स्काई बन गया. Right? Ease of forming partnerships with global companies today is very easy. So why not go global and make more money? Dr. Reddy's, HCL Technologies, these are some examples of companies which went global back in 1990s, 80s and 70s. Right? Absolutely. Now you will think of combining two or more strategies. If you're working, मैं तो आपको business idea दे रहा हूँ. If tomorrow you become a crorepati, please send me my percentage. ठीक है? Because I'm giving you so many ideas today. Very nice. HCL, Dr. Reddy's. These are some of the companies which went global in the 1990s and 80s. इतने साल पहले global चले गए थे because they could foresee an opportunity in the global markets. But just like external analysis for a domestic company, just like an analysis of external environment is done for a domestic company, we need to do the analysis of a global environment as well. We need to analyze all the factors: sociocultural, demographic, political, legal, economic, environmental. पेस्टल एनालिसिस हर नई मार्केट का करना पड़ेगा. We will have to do the pestle analysis of every single market. It's an added work. It's an added analysis. आप जा रहे हो अफ्रीका में काम करने, तो अफ्रीका का पेस्टल एनालिसिस करोगे. देन यू आर एक्सपैंडिंग इन टर्की, तो टर्की का पेस्टल एनालिसिस करोगे. इफ यू आर एक्सपैंडिंग इन दुबई, आप दुबई का पेस्टल एनालिसिस करोगे. इफ यू आर एक्सपैंडिंग इन लेट्स से हांगकांग, आप हांगकांग का पेस्टल एनालिसिस करोगे. जहां जहां एक्सपेंशन करोगे, वहां वहां का पेस्टल एनालिसिस यू विल हैव टू डू. You will have to do an internal analysis as well. Do you have the money? Do you have the cash? Do you understand the allocation of funds? Do you have ample funds to sustain a global business? Are you ready to go global with the legal and other costs and other implications that come with the global business? Are you ready? That analysis you have, right? Three kinds of analysis for a go global company is: one, multinational analysis. Understand the global environment, understand the macro elements, assess the government tendencies, evaluate the present and future impact. भाई क्या आप यूक्रेन में बिजनेस करना जाना चाहोगे? आंसर इज नो. क्या आप इसराइल में बिजनेस करने जाना चाहोगे? मे बी द आंसर इज नो एज ऑफ टुडे. क्या आप पाकिस्तान में जाके करना चाहोगे काम? द आंसर इज नो. अफगानिस्तान में जाके बिजनेस खोल. ड्राई फ्रूट्स का बिजनेस इतना अच्छा है. ड्राई फ्रूट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कम फ्रॉम अफगानिस्तान. The cashew, the pista and pistachios and whatever it is. भेजना भाई, Afghanistan is like the biggest exporter. So if you are in this business, you'll be like, यार बड़ा unstable देश है. Good business, good product, but very unstable. कल को क्या पैसे फंस जाए मेरे, मैं जा भी नहीं सकता. I can't go to Afghanistan to do business, right? Multinational analysis. You have to do regional analysis. Discover markets which align with your goals. Focus on discovering markets which align with your business opportunities. Just because you want to expand, don't expand. Just because you think you should expand, you shouldn't expand. You should expand when you think the expansion makes sense. This particular market makes sense. This country makes sense. The product in this market makes sense. Tab expand karo. And finally is country analysis. The belief system, the social cultural system, the demographics of the country. ये सब देखो. The economic condition of the country, the political condition. कितना easy है इस country में काम करना. Figure that out. Do a deep depth analysis of that country's market and then go full force. And then go full force. So rather than just thinking कि अरे expand करना तो आओ इस देश में चले, नहीं ऐसे मत करना. You have to do analysis. ठीक है? Okay. Very nice. That is going global for a business. That is go global opportunity. Cool. Understanding the product and industry. We talked about going global. The next topic we have is understanding the product and the industry. ये बीच वाला लोगो कौन सी कंपनी है? This black and red logo is of which organization? क्या है? किसका लोगो है? Everybody saying Netflix. एक सेकंड में समझ आ गया कौन सी कंपनी है, राइट? हाउ आर दे एबल टू डू दैट? लिखा नहीं है कहीं पे, नो वेयर दे हैव रिटन द नेम ऑफ देयर ब्रांड, कहीं नहीं लिखा हुआ नेटफ्लिक्स, बस एन बना हुआ है। एन कैन ऑल्सो बी नथु स्वीट्स, एन कैन ऑल्सो बी नीलंबर अगरबत्ती। आपको कैसे पता ये नेटफ्लिक्स है? इट कैन बी नंदिनी मिल्क एज वेल, मिलता है साउथ में, बिग ब्रांड। But how do you know this is Netflix? It's called the product. It means your product, people identify a product है। आपका प्रोडक्ट लोगों को समझ आता है। You have created a brand out of your product. Your product is OTT service. Over the internet, you're getting movies and shows and entertainment by paying a subscription done by Netflix. प्रोडक्ट इतना जोरदार है कि आप ब्रांड देख के पहचान पा रहे हैं। बोट, थम्स अप, सिमिलर स्टोरी। डू आई नीड टू टेल एनीबडी, डू आई नीड टू टेल एनीबडी कि भाई थम्स अप क्या बनती है? यहाँ पे कैसे पता चल रहा है कि इट्स अ सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक? आई नो, नो वेयर इट्स सेइंग इट्स सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक, इट्स जस्ट से थम्स अप। हाउ डू यू नो दैट दिस इज अ सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक ब्रांड? Thumbs up can be, I don't know, a lip balm brand also, can be a Sir Dard ka balm brand also, can be a water bottle. Thumbs up can be a campaign of motivating students. Thumbs up. क्या मालूम? So we all know. You know, I was reading an interesting article on marketing, and somebody had written there the magic of marketing or brand building is any any kid who's born today. Let me ask you this question. You would have seen in your house your neighbors, your siblings, your cousins, and your didis and bhaiyas. When they have kids, that new kid who's born in 2024, 25, अभी 3-4 महीने साल भर पहले हुआ है, right? Do you think they will also know कि Netflix क्या है? When they turn 2 or 3 year old, they start grasping things. Do you think they also know what is Netflix? My answer is yes, they will know, and they already know. You give them phone, they know how to open a YouTube. They know what is Coco Melon. They know what is a baby shark का गाना कैसे चलाना है फोन पे. They know what is Netflix. They know क्या हो रहा है, right? Why? Because people around them are talking about these brands. People around them, so their parents. अभी 2 साल का बच्चा, if they hear the parents talking, कह रहे Netflix देखते हैं आज रात, they're listening to it. They're listening to the brand name. They're not listening कि आप टीवी OTT देखते हैं, listening आप Netflix देखते हैं. If the kid is crying, the parent says, thumbs up पीनी है. Do you want to drink thumbs up? When the kid cries, a 2-3 year old kid, they thumbs up पिला दे, right? But they drink thumbs up. They're not saying drink soft drink. They're saying drink thumbs up, drink Coke, drink Pepsi. This is product. This is called product. The product is soft drink, but we call it thumbs up. Which washing powder do you think? You have heard about Surf Excel? Surf, सुना Surf? A lot of people in India say Surf से कपड़े धो लो. Right? A lot of people say wash your clothes with Surf. Surf Excel से धो लो. It's a brand. It's not a product, my friend. Surf is not soap. Surf is a brand. India is saying Surf से कपड़े धो लो, Surf दे दो. Surf is not soap. It is a washing powder. Surf is a brand. Surf is similar to the concept of Colgate, right? Toothpaste नहीं बोल रहे, Colgate दे दो, right? Now these are all brands. These are all brands. Surf is not sabun, it's a brand. It's a product. They have built a product so close to the consumer कि consumer को लगता है यही तो product है. People eventually go and say, अरे पतंजलि का सर्फ दे दो. पतंजलि marketing team is crushing their head कि यार पतंजलि का सर्फ दे दो. सर्फ तो यूनिलीवर का है, right? Absolutely. किराए से एक दंत कांति की कोलगेट दे दो. अब the shopkeeper like दंत कांति की कोलगेट कहाँ से दे दो? Just like Xerox, correct? क्योंकि Xerox photocopy को Xerox बोल दिया because the machine was made by Xerox, correct? This is product. This is understanding the industry कि भैया चलता क्या है, इंडस्ट्री में बिकता क्या है, and that is our topic. And that is our topic, understanding product and industry. It's a full MBA. भाई पूरा MBA का 6 महीना ये होता है, and we will study that in one slide for our syllabus. But it's a 6-month thing in MBA, understanding product and industry. But one, tangible versus intangible products. There are two types of products. Products you can touch and feel, products you can experience. Bungee jumping, skydiving, scuba diving. Why have a product? It's an experience that people are selling. Skydiving in Spain, or skydiving in Dubai, scuba diving in Andaman and Nicobar, right? Scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Experience है. Tangible product तो हमारे सबके पास phone है, then table, chair, light, everything, bed, mattress, food, plate, crockery, coffee mug, tangible products. The pricing dynamics. Number two, you think you need to understand when talking about product and industry is pricing dynamics. Pricing दो तरीके से होती है. Pricing दो तरीके से होती है. Okay. Okay. Another example was KitKat की Cadbury दे दो. Okay. Very nice. Pricing for a product and industry happens in two ways. So one, it is either based on supply and demand, or number two, it is based on competition. या तो सप्लाई डिमांड के बेसिस पे आप प्राइसिंग कर सकते हो, या फिर आप कर सकते हो बेस्ड ऑन competition. If there is more demand, less supply, increase in prices, price elasticity, right? Economics में पढ़ा था ना, elasticity of pricing, demand and supply. More the demand, less the supply, the price falls. More the demand, less the supply, price increases. More the supply, less the demand, price falls. Number two, competition. You want to increase the price, competition is breaking the price, you will also have to break the price. वरना competition आपका business ले जाए. Number three thing to consider under product and industry is the features for satisfaction. What are the features that people need? What are the features you can provide? What are the features they value and pay money for? Understand. Products are pivotal for business. You have to understand that products are central to business operations. They drive production, they drive quality. आपको product बेचना है. Make your product so good that people want to buy it. That's where your product becomes like a surf, like a Xerox. कि भाई product के नाम से category बन गई. Products are pivotal for business. They are very central to business operations. They drive production, they drive quality, they drive sales. And finally, is product life cycle समझना पड़ेगा. हर product, हर industry का product life cycle एक life cycle. The product has an initial days, then it grows, then it matures, it stabilizes and falls. Every product in the world. Same thing happens with every industry in the world. Every industry, like in, if let's say EV today, or let's say petrol industry, जो petrol cars थी, they were very big, 1950s, 60s, developing, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, growing. 2015 stabilized, matured. 2020 EV आ चुका है, पेट्रोल का डिक्लाइन चालू हो गया है. प्रोडक्ट लाइफ साइकिल, हर प्रोडक्ट हर इंडस्ट्री का लाइफ साइकिल तो आएगा ही. सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द लाइफ साइकिल. माय क्वेश्चन टू यू डियर फ्रेंड इज, क्यों समझूं लाइफ साइकिल प्रोडक्ट या इंडस्ट्री? Why is it important? I want to see how, for the lack of better word, how smartly now you think like a business person. Why is understanding a life cycle important for both a product and an industry? क्यों है important life cycle समझना? मेरे को बताओ. Why do you think it is important to understand the life cycle of an industry or a product? Innovation and diversification? I don't think so. How much market it will cover? ठीक है, maybe. To see the expected life of any product. ये तो कोई नहीं पहचान सकता कि कितनी लाइफ है. Yes, nobody can guess the life of a product. Nobody would want their product to go out of life, right? तो ये तो थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट हो गया. बड़ा बेसिक आंसर है इसका. The answer is very basic. You guys are almost there. Is what I'm getting a gut feeling कि पहुंच गए हो करेक्ट आंसर तक, बट बस वो आ नहीं रहा. Let me help you. I would want to see a life cycle of a product and industry to know when to enter and when to exit. And मुझे भी तो पता होना चाहिए when to enter and when to exit. Let me give you an example. Should I invest 100 crores in a petrol-based scooter manufacturing plant? My question to you is, मैं भाई 100 crore रुपए है मेरे पास. Should I invest in a manufacturing plant of petrol-based scooter, that to gear system वाला, automatic नहीं, gear system वाला petrol scooter is what I want to start my manufacturing plant in. Should I do it? Should I put money there? The answer is no. अरे क्यों no भाई? How do you know कि ये successful नहीं होगा? Why are you so negative? Because you know the life cycle of the industry. You know it's a declining industry. भाई क्यों जा रहे हो? Rather invest in EV because you know the life cycle ki bhai abhi it's just the beginning. It is just the beginning. Invest in EV. आ रहा है ना दिमाग में? कैसे आ? How are you able to analyze without even being a business guru? आज तक हम में से किसी ने 100 crore rupees देखे नहीं. Let's be honest. I don't know if somebody of you are super rich, you might have, but I don't think so. Most of us have ever seen 100 crores. But you and me sitting on our laptops and phones कि अरे नहीं नहीं ये मार्केट बकवास है, 100 करोड़ रुपए यहाँ मत लगाओ, ईवी में लगाओ. वी आर गिविंग ज्ञान. हाउ? बिकॉज इट्स अ कॉमन सेंस कि भाई द बिजनेस, द इंडस्ट्री इज डिक्लाइनिंग, तो काहे को पैसा लगा? यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? Why is it important to understand product life cycle or a life cycle of an industry and product is to know when to enter, when to exit. इसीलिए important. To know when to exit also is important. भाई I already have a plant in petrol scooter. मेरे पास है already. People are saying अरे इसको EV में convert, बैटरी बना लो यार आप. सिर्फ बैटरी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बिजनेस यू स्टार्ट, यू विल be future proof. Yeah, very good. I know I need to exit this industry and enter a new one because my industry is declining. और मैं बैठा रहा हूँ कि नहीं, दिस इज माय ancestral father's business, my grandfather started this business, I will work on this business. मेरी इंडस्ट्री की लाइफ ही खत्म हो. So you need to exit fast. That is why you need to know life cycle. That is why you need to know life cycle. Maybe Prem, I don't know. I'm just thinking with you. Maybe you need to go online rather than a Kirana store, right? I don't know. You can do your assessment. Sorry. You can do your assessment. Maybe you should go online. भाई आप online अपने आप को enroll करा लो on a Zepto or a Blinkit and start selling across India, across your entire city, rather than just covering 100, 200 houses. I don't know. You have to understand the life cycle of your industry, of your product, of your service. That is how you do it. Okay? That is product life cycle. What goes up comes down. What goes up comes down, and customer needs more than what they pay for. ये दो statements जो हैं, these two statements, my friend, these two statements are absolutely magical statements for product and industry. Read them carefully. What goes up will come down or comes down. Customer needs more than what they pay for. Customer needs more than what they pay for. इन दो चीजों को याद रखिए. It's 8:28 almost. We will take a 10, 11-minute break. Okay, let's take a pause here on this climax thing कि ऐसा क्या आने वाला है, ऐसा क्या पढ़ने वाले हैं. Take a break of almost like, let's say, 10, 11 minutes, and let's be back 8:40. Take a break, get something to drink. 8:40, we will be back and we will start on these two important statements and we will cover this. Okay? I'll see you in 10 minutes, almost 8:40. Okay? I'll wait for another minute or so, and we can start. Thank you, Ch2. Okay, so for everyone, if you're back, give me a yes, thumbs up, okay, whatever you want to give in the chat so that I know you're back as well. And we will quickly start and do this topic. Awesome. Is that one person? Is it others? If you're there, if you're back, we are back. Give me an okay, thumbs up so that I know I can start. It's already 8:40, so without delaying further, let us start. Okay. What goes up comes down, and customer needs more than what they pay for. What do these two statements stand for? Number one is product life cycle. What goes up comes down is product life cycle. We were talking about this. कि इंट्रोडक्शन होगी, ग्रोथ होगी, मेच्योरिटी होगी और डिक्लाइन होगा. What goes up will come down. Okay, that's a product life cycle thing we just talked about. The second thing is consumer needs more than what they pay for. When you're studying a product, when you're studying an industry, it is important, it is imperative, it cannot end without you understanding the value chain analysis. The value chain analysis is extremely, extremely important for any business person to understand. Product life cycle, we are clear. Okay. Product life cycle, we are clear. But do you understand value chain analysis is what I want to know. So when I say product life cycle, let's take an example very quickly and understand product life cycle, and then we go to value chain. A group of friends brainstorm the concept of a cozy cafe that specializes in artisanal coffee. Artists like ऊपर दिल बना है, SpongeBob बना है, शिनचैन बना है कॉफी के ऊपर, and homemade pastries. They conduct market research to identify local preference and finalize their final menu कैसा दिखेगा. During the growth stage, the cafe opens and quickly gains popularity through social media, community events, etc. Customer feedback leads to a menu adjustment, enhances their flavors, and introduce seasonal specials as well. कि भाई सर्दी आई तो मक्की की रोटी साग रख दो एज ए साइड. लोग आएंगे कैफे में खाएंगे, सिर्फ एक ही चीज रखिए, मक्की की रोटी साग बस. कॉफी है, कुकीज है, सैंडविचेस है, मक्की की रोटी साग. एक बार सीजन है, खाने में मजा आएगा. गाजर का हलवा रख दिया. Right? As the cafe reaches maturity, it establishes a loyal customer base and expands the services to include catering, kitty party, orders लेना, online orders लेना, शादियों में जाना, corporate events का काम भी चालू कर दिया. Maturity stage में now this expand. नाम बन गया है, grow हो गया है, now we expand. Eventually, in the decline stage, the competition increases. A lot more cafes and caterers and all of those come because it's a booming market, prompting the owners to innovate with new themes and menus to regenerate interest. Constant competition hota rahega because now more people have started coming in, and it's a declining stage for your business because market share koi aur leke jata jayega unless you innovate, unless you are creative and you hold your position, right? Unless you innovate and hold your position, आपका market share डूबना चालू हो जाएगा मेरे दोस्त. ठीक है? That is product life cycle. अब इसमें एक चीज आती है कि भाई value chain analysis क्या चीज. Let me zoom in a little for you. Value chain analysis क्या चीज. Let me help you understand this in the next 10 odd minutes so that you remember this for life. You can break down your entire business. You can break down your entire business into value chain analysis. आप किसी भी business को, you take any business whatsoever, any business, कुछ भी ले लो, it will have all of this. It can be broken down into primary activities and support activities. Any business in the world can be broken down into primary activities and support activities. Primary activities are inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales and services. सामान अंदर लाना, सामान को बनाना, सामान को बाहर भेजना, मार्केट करना, सेल्स करना, डिस्काउंट्स देना, प्राइसिंग देना, and then after sales service, the experience the customer gets from your product. These are primary activities. Procurement, development and manufacturing, outbound, selling it back to the customers, the marketing, the sales techniques, the service, the experience of the customer. Primary activities. Secondary activities of firm infrastructure, right? Organizational structure होना चाहिए, process होने चाहिए. It should not be आज कुछ तरीके कल standardization होना चाहिए. Creativity, there should be an infrastructure of an organization. There should be human resource management. There should be technology development, and there should be procurement, that how you build all of this, how do you bring things into picture. ये सब support आपके पास होनी चाहिए in your business. If you have all of this, and you figure out these primary and secondary activities in your business, the only thing you now have to do is कोई एक या दो, either primary or secondary, पकड़ लो and be an expert in your industry on those primary or secondary activities. Listen to what I'm saying. Once you break down your business into primary and secondary activities, find those one or two primary or secondary activity or support activities and become the best in your industry in that, and you are successful. Because customer needs more than what they pay for. Lalchi hai customer. Customer is greedy. If I pay 100 rupees, I want a satisfaction of 120. But if I go and buy an umbrella for 500 rupees, I want it to be smooth. I want button dabao khule. It covers, it should be big enough for me. It should be good print, aesthetic print होना चाहिए. बड़े एक cover में आना चाहिए, right? खोलूं तो अपने आप smoothly खुल जाना चाहिए. Because I'm paying 500, I want it to be elegant. I want the product to feel like a 1,000 rupee product, but I will pay 500. Customer needs more than what they pay for. I go to a restaurant and they say, oh, the noodles are 300 rupees, the Manchurian is 400 rupees, a Diet Coke is 100 rupees. And like, okay, I'm paying 1,000 rupees for this meal. 1,000 rupees per person मुझे cost आ रही है. I sit there, the person comes, gives me Diet Coke in a very fancy glass, pours in front of me. There is a big screen, उस पे IPL चल रहा है. They bring a complimentary French fries रख के चला जाता. कुछ नहीं करता. आता है, उसके लिए तो 50 rupees cost है. The person comes, French fries, say, sir, till we are getting your order, this is complimentary fries from us. खत्म. I am happy. भाई 500 रुपए का मंचूरियन कर दो. मुझे बड़ा satisfaction है. I'm getting more than what I pay for. You're playing with my psyche. You're playing with the customer's psyche. 50 रुपए के फ्रेंच फ्राइज देके आप अपना प्राइस 100 रुपए डिश का बढ़ा दो. The customer will say complimentary French fries. They're playing with the experience. They're playing with service. Restaurant is playing with that service. Wow. कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री, वाह, मजे आ गए। एंड मंचूरियन वो 400 रुपए का। अब लगा यार, बट मजा है। आई फील वर्थ की 1000 रुपीज भाई। व्हाट अ सर्विस, व्हाट अ सर्विस, 1000 रुपीज वर्थ इट। That is now usne, they have picked a primary activity and they have become masters in that primary activity. Some companies are like outbound logistics, Zepto, Blinkit, outbound logistics पे काम कर रहे हैं. The primary activity 7 minutes delivery. Outbound delivery to the customer को इतना efficient, इतना technology driven बना दिया. They can deliver stuff to your house in 7-8 minutes. इतना बड़ा portfolio, you click click click, 7 minutes in your house. Primary activity, outbound logistics expertise, right? Companies like Oppo, Vivo, Samsung, technology development पे काम कर रहे हैं. They're experts in technology development. They're experts in marketing and sales. एक दो कोई भी एक्टिविटी पकड़ के उसमें एक्सपर्ट बन जाओ, your business is gonna boom like it. Why? Because customer needs more than what they pay for. It is value chain analysis. You're figuring out this entire chain of business, entire chain of activities you're doing in business. Where do I create that extra value for the customer? The customer का यार मजा. That I figure out that entire chain of business operations. I create value in one or two things, and that the customer feels I am getting more than what I'm paying for. That is where magic happens. That is where magic happens. You buy a perfume for 1,000 rupees. They give you a small sample of essential oil free. आप बहुत खुश होते हो. आप बहुत खुश होते हो. You're like, wow, come se come, this will be 100-200 rupee product they have given me free. Marketing and sales is their primary activity where they're playing with you. They're making you feel you're getting more than what you paid for. This is their marketing technique. This is their sales technique, right? Operations. Sorry. Operations. McDonald's, Domino's jao. McDonald's jao. Standing in line, give your order. They give you an order number. The operations are so systemized. आप खुद करते हो. You go to a McDonald's, you go and nobody serves in McDonald's. Okay, remember this. The Chinese restaurant, you're paying 1,000 rupees. You're sitting there, and you're like, "I am the king or the queen. Bring me food on my table. Give me complimentary." You go to McDonald's, you will still spend 1,000 rupees easily. दो तीन लोग जाओगे 1,000 रुपए खर्च हो जाएंगे, right? You still spend 1,000 rupees, but you're going yourself, self service है. खाने के बाद there are no napkins and water bottle, glass, nothing. You go and there is a dispenser, small cup, water, you're drinking water from that small cup. You're picking up your own tray, putting it in a dustbin also. But मजा आता है. But that experience, but that operational thing, you feel value add, you feel disciplined, you feel, अरे wow, I am doing my own job. You feel excited about the dignity, right? You feel good factor है. I am doing my own job, but everybody around me is doing their job. Very happy, very. If somebody is not picking up their tray, you pick up your tray. You feel very proud of yourself. You see, I am picking my tray. People are so egoist. The operations से खेल. The primary activity that McDonald's has captured is operations. The way you operate a business, the way you create that operation, it's standardized. Anywhere in the world you go to a McDonald's, it's the same. Copy paste same दिखता है. Uniform से लेके screen से लेके menu से लेके colors, everything is the same, and you feel a sense of value add there. Oh, I know this. This is very close brand to me. I know McDonald's. I'll go eat it. operation excellence, creating a value chain of value and for the customer where they feel I'm getting more than what I paid for. Even if I'm buying a 150 rupee burger, I'm like, that's McDonald's. It's okay. भाई सर्विस नहीं है, सेल्फ सर्विस है, still you pay 150 200 rupees for a burger and you feel good about it. That's called value chain analysis. That's what companies, big businesses, you can do for your businesses. You're a chartered accountant. You do, let's say you are into your practice. How will you create value for the customer? Think about it. Is it operations? Is it marketing and sales? Is it service? Something extra? Maybe technology development. You offer them a simple solution जिसके लिए वो they are struggling. Let's say they're not able to manage things. आप उनको एक गूगल शीट बना के दे देते हो कि भाई you just have to put auto populate होगा and you can do it online. 3-4 people can work together on the sheet. You don't attendance बनानी दे like मैं how do I manage attendance? I'm a small business. Google sheet बना दो. Everybody has to punch in. वहाँ पे लिखा आता है when you punched in. So you can put a comment. It shows you date and time. Do it. Just saying. So offering solutions beyond what person is paying for, that's called creating value for the customer, and that is value chain analysis. Pick up any activity, 1, 2, 3, depends on your capability, capacity, and be an expert in that to create a value for the customer. Do you now understand these two very important concepts of value chain analysis and product life cycle? What will happen then? Yeah, very nice. Let's understand value chain analysis in another business scenario. Okay. We all like decorating our house. We all like decorating our house. There's a company called Eco Home Essentials. There's a company called Eco Home Essentials, a sustainable home goods store. The value chain begins with inbound logistics. Okay? The owner partners with eco-friendly suppliers to source biodegradable cleaning materials, reusable kitchenware, all ensuring that all materials with the store's green mission. So inbound logistics में what he's done is his procurement is based on his overall vision of a green brand. ठीक है जी? In the operations phase, the team curates a diverse product selection focusing on quality and sustainability. Okay? Quality and sustainability के ऊपर काम हो रहा है operations. For outbound logistics, Eco Home Essentials utilizes a local delivery service to provide for I think charging. Yeah, it's working. Awesome. Okay. For outbound logistics, the Essential utilizes a local delivery service to provide customers with quick and eco-friendly options for reducing carbon footprint. In the marketing and sales stage, the store engages customers with workshops on how to be sustainable living, what are our products, what are we offering. And finally, in the service phase, the staff personalizes recommendations, gives them support, enhances their experience. Go with this. This is biodegradable. This is that. Right? Now, my question to you is, will this brand be successful? My question to you is, will this brand be successful, yes or no? Eco Home Essentials, what do you think? I want each one of you to answer in the chat, please. This is not my class, this is your class. The more you type and talk, the better you learn. मेरे को जरूरत नहीं भाई, आई क्लियर माई एग्जाम्स. आई हैव ऑलरेडी क्लियर्ड माई एग्जाम, सो I don't really need to study. You need to study. Yes, I see responses saying yes, this will be successful because at least they're identifying where the value is created for the customer, whoever their customer is. The customer can be a niche customer, which is the case in here. And that's why you would see the most likely the brand will be successful for niche customers because they are doing value chain analysis. Where is the value being created? How do I capture that market? How do I create a game around that market? How do I create a brand story around sustainability while creating a value for the customer? ये हो रहा है. If that is happening, the brand is most likely to be successful, right? Fantastic. 9 a.m., my friends, we are on time. We just left with two small topics, not small, like we'll take the next class for this. Porter's five forces model and key success factors. बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस बना सकता हूँ मैं इससे. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, वेरी 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 interesting topics. I have so many examples for you. I am so excited for tomorrow. This is one of my favorite topics. Porter's five forces model. Why are businesses doing things as they are doing? क्यों decisions लिए जा रहे हैं? What are the basis for decisions? Why are companies doing things that we see them doing? Porter's five forces model. We do that tomorrow. What I'll do now is 9 a.m. already, on time. I'll take a pause here and open the classroom for questions. Bombard me with your questions. Raise your hands if you want to talk and ask a question. Very happy to have a chat with you guys. I'll unmute you. If you're not comfortable, put your question in the chat box and I'll be happy to answer all the questions. We have ma'am as well in the class, probably. Any questions related to syllabus or examination, they'll be supported as well. Awesome. Kinari, I am unmuting you. Go ahead.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good, sir. Thank you. Sir, I don't have any questions for today because the class was very easy and interesting to me. But, sir, I am still facing problems when I sit and try to write an answer. I still am not able to cope up. I'm not get confidence whether I'm writing it correct, and there is no base to check also in case. So my suggestion, it was like not my suggestion, but I was wondering if it can be anything that at the end of a class, if one question you give in the previous lecture homework, and then we said we write, and then you show the answer and discuss that if it is possible in any way, so that at least we get the confidence that हाँ हमने जो लिखा है it's correct and we can work on it. We know where to improve because suggested answers we get to know, but then syllabus अभी complete नहीं हुआ है तो it gets very low confidence in doing it and फिर करने में मजा भी नहीं आता और push भी नहीं मिल रहा.
Sure. Awesome. First of all, very, very happy that you're practicing and you really want to practice and do that answer writing, right? So kudos for that. Okay. Chapter one, I put up an assignment. I gave you like almost 10 questions. Did you write,
Yes.
practice those?
I actually hardly could write one answer.
And why do you think so?
So because I wasn't knowing, I wasn't sure enough that मैंने जो लिखा है it's correct and I didn't knew what to do. One
Okay.
answer I knew. In fact, I can write give all the points correct for all the questions. I don't know how to present them.
Sure. Okay. I'll give you a technique. It's called, we can do that right now as well. It will be helpful for everybody in the classroom. It's called five whys. Okay. It's called five whys. If you're ever stuck in making a decision or finding a solution to anything, ask five whys. Okay, so first why I asked to say, why are you not able to write? Because you don't know where to start. Why don't you know where to start?
No knowledge.
No knowledge.
Less knowledge.
Less knowledge. Why do you think you have less knowledge?
No, I don't know. I know. I mean, I have knowledge, but I don't know how to present it.
Why don't you know how to present it?
Less practice.
Why less practice?
That
You're
is
getting
it.
your answer, you're right. Okay, so again, you know the solution yourself. It's about practice. It's just two chapters that we have done here. Okay, it's okay to feel jittery. It's okay to feel low on confidence in the beginning of the syllabus, which is absolutely okay. Nothing's wrong with you. Okay, it's just about as we get into more syllabus. We've done chapter one. After chapter two, I will give you assignment as well. What you just said, it's already we have planned that we will be doing that. I will give you questions. You practice that. You bring those back, and we discuss those answers. It's already planned, but we do that after we complete the chapter, obviously,
Yeah.
right? So be assured that's happening. Number two, I would suggest is don't stress too much on writing right. Read more first. Suggested answers, last year question papers, whatever materials you get online, there's so much material online. Just go and read it once, right? It's like the more you read, if you read novels all your life, probably in 10 years you get to know कि novel लिखना कैसे है, right? Then you start finding how easy है मेरे को मालूम है story कैसे जाएगी कहाँ से climax आएगा क्या होगा I know I've read so much that I know how the story will shape up. The same thing happens with exams. What we're trying to do is we are reading just two three questions and saying यार मैं लिख क्यों नहीं पा रहा क्योंकि आपने पढ़े दो तीन क्वेश्चन, right? The more you read, the more confidence you get. When you get more confidence, you start writing. And let me be honest, you don't have to copy paste. Answering, writing answer doesn't mean you have to copy paste what the institute is asking, your suggested answer is asking. You don't have to copy paste exact same. Format something. Format I've already given. Introduction, you give the content, you give a conclusion, it should be bullet points. Keywords जो आपके answer में, whatever your answer is, whatever you think the answer is, just write that down and underline the keywords. It's the format. It's the way you present. The answer doesn't have to be copy paste of what the institute suggests. It's about how you write the answer. But obviously, keyword to match होना ही चाहिए. You can't be saying pestle analysis में value chain का answer, right? So don't
Yes.
be stressed. Take some time. It will take some time. Jaldi nahi hai. We still have time. We'll practice. I will ensure you practice a lot. I'll keep pushing. I'll share assignments. That will happen. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Okay, Prem says he's using ChatGPT to check his answers. Awesome, Prem. हम ICAI में भी ChatGPT से answers check करा देंगे. It's good for guidance, but I don't know if for examination purpose it makes sense or not. It's okay to give you some guidance of flavor कि क्या हो सकता है, but exam please ChatGPT से मत पढ़ के आना. Guys, you can raise your hand. Feel free to ask questions. Anything that's bothering you, any suggestion, any feedback, still okay, right? You want something more to happen, you want something less to happen, you want us to speed up, you want us to slow down, you want to, whatever feedback, anything you can give on the chat, unmute, have a chat, that's also okay. It's your classroom. Make it as interactive as for yourselves. I will anyway talk for 2.5 hours every weekend. If no more questions, we can wrap up the session as well. That's also okay. And you can drop your questions. We meet tomorrow, same time. We start with Michael Porter. Most likely, we'll complete chapter two tomorrow, right? The target is to complete chapter two, and which is like one of the biggest chapters as well. We do that. Okay. We'll solve maximum questions of assignment. Awesome. I'll bring some questions as well. I anyway ask questions, a lot of questions, but we'll do that practice as well. Okay, if we have no further questions, all clear, all good, we can wrap up this session. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. We complete chapter number.
Okay, Ajit.
Sure, ma'am. Sorry.
Hi. Actually, I would like to add a few of the points which the students have asked. To that, generally we find that students are that how to score good marks in strategic management or how we can write the answers. This is what a Kinari. There is a student who asked the same question. So I would like to add on whatever you have said, that to score good marks in strategic management, students, please, first of all, what you have to do, focus on understanding the concepts thoroughly, which is very, very important. Once you understand the concepts thoroughly, then only you will be able to write it, articulate your answers in your own language. So my request to all the students, first of all, please understand the concepts thoroughly rather than rote learning, which generally student ask that ICAI want copy paste things. No, not at all. We require conceptual understanding. For that, what you can do, start with ICAI study material as it forms the base of the exam, right? After that, you can refer different books if you really want to. And prepare your notes. Prepare your notes, diagrams, flowcharts, mnemonic tips, whatever you feel, the way you can quickly revise. Or ICI has already, BOS has already provided you a Saransh booklet for quick revision. Right? After that, what the faculty has already told you that practice case scenarios, practice MCQs from MCQ portal. Both the case scenarios as well as MCQs are already uploaded on the MCQ paper practice assessment portal, as well as there is a booklet for it, or you can practice through RTPs, suggested answers, past papers, as well as mock test papers. There are so many things. If you really want to score good marks, so I think that there is more than sufficient content you are having in your hand. So the only way is for success is only thing is hard work. This you have to do. And while you are writing the answer in the exam, structure your answer well using like headings, bullet points, and write, minded student, that please write to the point answers. Don't write the vague answers and don't write the stories in it. Be to the point, conceptually sound responses we require. Manage your time wisely during the exam, because separate slot you can give to the MCQs as well as for descriptive answers. And wherever possible, include the examples wherever the relevant examples are there to enhance your presentation. So I can say in one line, with strategic preparation, consistent revision, and smart writing, you can easily score high marks in strategic management. Right? So if anybody have any doubt, please feel free to send us the doubts, or otherwise we can wind up the session.
It's just one more question in the chat. So
Yeah, please.
we know that question comes from module only and faculty teaches, right? Then why people purchase other classes and create a myth that CA is an expensive course?
No, there is no need. No need for other classes. If you are thorough with your concepts through the study material, and if you are very much dedicated for LVC classes, I don't think so that there is any need to take any kind of pen drive classes. This is up to you, student, that how much you are dedicated towards and how much you are serious towards your studies. If you are daily going through the Economic Times or any of the financial newspaper, I think most of the concepts which we are studying in the strategic management are more or less part and parcel of our life. Read the financial newspaper on daily basis so that you can understand the terminology which is going to use in the strategic management concepts. You will automatically understand all the concepts if you follow any of the financial newspaper on daily basis. Right?
Absolutely. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So with this, any other further query, Arjit?
Yes, ma'am. Just one, I think. Harsh have joined the classes from today, so I think welcome to the classes first. And the chapter 1 is already uploaded. You can go to the BS app or YouTube and catch up with chapter 1. And the only suggestion is be as interactive as much in the class, because these classes, the benefit of the classes is you can interact live with us. And I think choose that opportunity is my only thing if you're joining the classes.
Yeah, even after that, if the after the class, if you feel any of the student feels that there is a doubt, you are always welcome to send your queries through your this portal mobile app as well as on Ask Your Query. We are happy to give you the answers. You can always welcome any time any student can send their queries. Right?
Perfect. Thanks, ma'am. I think we're done with the questions.
Yeah, yeah. So today you are going to upload the assignment of chapter 2, Ajay?
Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow we
Yeah.
complete chapter
So
2. So my
convey this
idea
to
is I
students.
will do it.
My request to all the students, please, students, whatever the faculty is providing you, the assignments, please do it. And wherever you feel that I'm not able to do this, come up with these difficulties in the next session. The faculty will definitely address your all the queries. And if you still not satisfied, ask repeatedly. We will be more than happy. But the purpose of this class is to just to help you out, and you all will succeed with, in your examinations. So please come up with the queries so that we can provide you our maximum best benefits to all our students. Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ajit. Thank you, students.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.